Okay, I'm going to talk to you about the emerging freelancer rights movement. So firstly, I'm going to explain to you why it's happening, and then I'm going to get you excited about taking part. So my name is Joel Dullroy. I'm an Australian, but I live here now. I'm a freelance journalist, and I'm also the co-founder of a website called deskwanted.com, which is a portal that freelancers use to find co-working spaces and shared offices. And it's through this interaction with co-working spaces that I've become aware of the growing importance of freelancer rights. So to start off with here, a show of hands, who here identifies as a freelancer? Quickly? Okay, let's try the opposite. Who here has a fixed job with a contract and health insurance paid and all that sort of stuff? Okay, now if you didn't put up your hand, it's probably because you're a freelancer and you don't know it, so you should listen up. And if you did put up your hand and say you have a fixed job, you listen up too, because you may not have that fixed job for very long. And I'll explain why in a minute. You see, the number of freelancers in the workforce has really exploded in the last decade. And it's kind of hard to keep track of this because governments have been pretty hard at keeping statistics on this particular demographic. So we know that there's a whole new range of jobs that have come out. You know, there's subcontractors, there's part-timers, there's interns, there's people on short-term projects, and all sorts of things. So exactly knowing how many there are is a bit hard. We know there's around 45 million of them in the US, and there's around 23 million here in Europe. And now these two numbers are set to continue to increase, and there's two very good reasons why. The first reason is technological enabling. As you know, it's possible to work anywhere on a laptop with a Wi-Fi connection. But the second, and I think the more important reason, is that companies are forcing people into this work style because it's cheaper for them to employ freelancers and it's easier for them to fire a flexible workforce. Governments have been assisting this all over the world by introducing all sorts of reforms to increase what they call labour market flexibility. Now, if you have a fixed job now, you may have become a freelancer in the near future, and there's some estimates that up to 50% of the workforce could become freelance by the year 2020. Let me give you an example of this in action. IBM, a very big company, has a new strategy called Working Liquid. They want to strip their entire workforce back to a central core of managers and turn all of their employees into independent contractors who have to bid against each other for each internal task. Now that kind of workforce could become the norm. Now what does this mean for you, the individual? It means we're about to enter a Hobbesian employment market where every freelancer is forced to fight against every other, undercutting each other on price and living without collective support and without social benefits. Unless we do something to rebuild collective strength and insist on a few basic rights. Now that's the key to start talking about the emerging freelancer rights movement, which is a social and a political quest to protect and improve the economic and social situation of independent workers, keeping in mind that they may become the majority of the workforce. So what kind of rights are we talking about here? Well, the most basic type at the top of the list, we're talking about wages, working conditions, making sure you get paid on time, that kind of stuff. Healthcare is a really important one in the US, very important here too. In pensions, retirement benefits, tax codes, quasi-official structures that actually penalize or ignore freelancers. But you know, beyond this kind of shopping list of demands, there's something bigger required here. And that is a rediscovery of a collective identity and the notion of shared struggle between individuals. We need to rebalance this destructive atomization that has shattered everybody apart and rebuild collective structures. So it's a pretty big job. We've got to start somewhere. So here in Germany, this is what we're doing. A few months ago, the Merkel government tried to introduce a tax on all freelancers, 400 euros a month to pay for their retirement. Now that's impossible for most freelancers to pay. So we at DeskWanted helped to promote an online petition against it, and it quickly gained 80,000 signatures, and this law may be on the way out. So we might have won that battle, but there's going to be more battles to come. And for that reason, I've been part of a group that's been formed to keep up this momentum. It's called the Verband der Gründer Selbstständiger Deutschland, or Selbstständig Verein for short, Independence United. Now what's really exciting is that movements like this are appearing in different countries all over the world. In the US, the Freelancers Union is really showing the way about how we should build community structures, and they've got some great artwork too. And in a few weeks, I'm going to be going to London to meet with other representatives of freelancer movements from across Europe, and we're going to swap ideas and coordinate actions. So this is, so I guess we should talk about how we're going to do this, the tactics. Well, there's three main tactics. First, we're going to use social media to coordinate and communicate. We're going to use creative protest methods to make our points, and we're going to use co-working spaces as gathering points and nodes in a network of independent communities who are mutually bound by mutual economic and social interests. So it's a very exciting movement, and I want you all to take part, and it's very easy. You can just come and have a drink next Friday night with me at Exile Bar in Dresdner Straße in Kreuzberg, and we can talk about some ideas. So I hope to see you there.